Hello everyone, it's great to be speaking to you all. How's school going? Are you ready for it to be over? Now, I want you to think about your answer to that question. If you said yes, is it because you're just tired, or is there another reason? Now that you've taken a second to think, I want you to think again and see if you've ever seen bullying around you, or maybe even towards you. According to the Office of Human Rights, bullying occurs when a student or a group of students acts aggressively towards a peer or peers or someone just around you that's weaker or doesn't have as much power as the aggressors. If you ever seen someone being targeted because they don't have as much power or they're weaker, did you step in to help them out, or did you just sit there and be a bystander, or did you report them? Just take a second to think about that. Now let me take that question out of your hands. It has been obvious that the current system handling bullying is severely outdated. It don't work. It's clear. And I believe that a new approach needs to be taken. This is because of numerous studies on bullying and the faculty's inability to handle it, which proves that the cure to bullying isn't really a cure, but it's more like a vaccine. Because it doesn't permanently fix the problem, but it only just puts a band-aid over it. That ain't gonna work. Now, the following information that I'm fixing to present to you comes from a graph from the Cyberbullying Research Center by Justin W. Patchen and Samir Hinduja. 79.5% of students have been bullied in a way that has really affected their ability to learn. And also in that same sample of 5,700 US students, that's a lot, 18.5% of those students skip school because of bullying. Now, take a look around you. Imagine 18%, so what? Out of a class of 20, somewhere around 3 to 4 maybe, somewhere around there. Imagine that amount of kids skipping school just because they feel like they're being targeted. Imagine that being one of your friends. Now, this following graph is the exact same graph I was showing you, but the same data, just a little more in depth, which is on the screen now. I'm pretty sure most of y'all have heard the phrase or heard it from a faculty or parent or staff, anybody. If you're being bullied, to just run away or don't give it any attention. But think about it. If you're being targeted just about every day, would you be able to run away every day? No. You got a life to live, and I'm pretty sure not a person in here would want to just run away every single day because someone's targeting them. No. We got a life to live. And the thing is, teachers are focusing too much on the victims of bullying. Now, yes, they need attention, but the thing is, that's like trying to clean up a water puddle while the water hose is still running. It don't make sense, does it? Because if you're going to clean up a mess, you gotta make sure there's nothing making the mess still. Teachers and parents should implement tactics to confront and to prevent the bullying itself. Knock the problem out. Don't worry about cleaning up the mess. Do that afterwards. Now, I believe a way to do this is rules should be put in place that clearly outline acceptable and unacceptable behavior. There cannot be no bending the line. There cannot be no exceptions. Clean, clear, and cut. It's just good, bad. Because if you start to bend the line for certain people, then that wouldn't be fair to everybody. And the only way to help prevent bullying is making sure they're being punished to the severest and the best extent that we can give them. We shouldn't be giving it to where it's severe for him, but not as severe for the other dude. See what I'm saying? Now, we've seen that there's been problems with teachers whenever it comes to handling bullying, and I really gotta say, I cannot blame them. I know that they are busy. I know that they're constantly time pressured. And there's been a lot of studies. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes to try and track down bullying and ways to prevent it. And I could give kudos to them. But it is apparent that teachers who are under time pressure, they're not going to be able to handle bullying as well because they're going to have too much on their plate going on. I mean, they're not going to have time to constantly sit around and watch a bunch of kids and making sure that they're not getting bullied or that they're treating each other nicely. Yes, that's part of their job, but they got way too much on their plate, grading and all this other stuff. They should be focusing on that, not focusing on whether Betty here is getting bullied or if John is being rude. That's not what they need to focus on. Now, preventing bullying can be done in 4 steps. First, redirection. Make the bully realize their mistake. Make them realize that what they do has consequences. Make them realize that whenever they do something, see how it affects the other person. And as a last resort, I would highly do not want it to happen, but sometimes it needs to happen because they won't learn. Eye for an eye. Many people don't like it because they say, it's barbaric, you're just gonna make it to where you're just as bad as the bully doing what they're doing. But the thing is, if the bully is going to be going to extremes to harm the victim and we're not willing to combat them on that same battlefield, then they're constantly going to hurt the victim. Because sometimes the punishment that we're giving them, detention or suspension, that's just a joke to them. They don't care. Now, I'm not saying it's for all bullies, but most of the time bullies don't care about that. What they really care about is just making sure they can get the last laugh or anything like that. So what could really fix this is eye for an eye, but that needs to be a last resort. It is clear in interviews, polls, and articles that there is sufficient data to be able to prove that our current system of handling bullying is garbage, a hot piece of garbage. And the new method that I'm presenting, even if some of y'all might not agree with it, but at the very least agree that there needs to be a new system, is viable. We need a new system. Now, tying it all back to one of my previous statements, it has been clear that insufficient methods of handling were used. It caused bullying to go way on up, skyrocket, and many teachers weren't sure how to handle it or they were too stressed. And there's been too many students that have shed light on how bad the situation of bullying has been. Therefore, we need a new solution to bullying. And a teacher's order response for handling bullying should be to deprive them of the attention they crave. Then it should be to redirect them, give them a punishment such as detention or whatever the punishment fits the crime. And last resort, eye for an eye. Well, thank you everyone for listening to my TED Talk on how teachers and faculty should handle bullying. Now, as you can see, these are all of my works cited and all my citations, and I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully this can shed some light to y'all.